In the early 1990s, India witnessed intense debate on social justice, equality, and affirmative action. The Mandal Commission recommended 27% reservation for other backward classes, OBCs in public employment, when Prime Minister VP Singh's government announced their implementation. The country erupted in protests. Students took to the streets. Some even resorted to self-immolation, claiming the move undermined merit. At the center of this storm stood Indira Sawhney, a journalist who filed a petition challenging the constitutional validity of these reservations. Her case would eventually reach a 9-judge bench of the Supreme Court of India, one of the largest benches ever assembled, and reshape India's affirmative action policies forever. The key legal questions before the court were whether the government's decision to implement 27% OBC reservation was constitutionally valid, whether caste could be a basis for identifying backward classes, whether reservations could exceed the 50% limit, whether economic criteria alone could be used for reservations. The relevant constitutional provisions included Article 14, Equality before law. Article 15, permits special provisions for socially and educationally backward classes. Article 16, Section 4, allows reservation in public employment for backward classes not adequately represented. Earlier precedents, such as M.R. Balaji v. State of Mysore, 1963, and State of Kerala v. N.M. Thomas, 1976, guided the application. The court engaged in intense deliberation. The judges acknowledged that caste, though undesirable, was still a social reality in India and therefore could be a criterion for identifying backward classes. They held that economic criteria alone cannot define backwardness, since social and educational backwardness also play a crucial role. The court imposed the 50% ceiling rule, holding that reservations must not exceed half the available seats or posts, except in extraordinary situations. On the question of efficiency in administration, the court balanced merit with social justice, stating that equality is not just formal but must be substantive. Conclusion. In its historic judgment of 1992, the Supreme Court upheld 27% OBC reservation while striking down the provision for reservations solely on economic criteria. Key takeaways: reservations upheld for OBCs. 50% cap introduced. Creamy layer principle introduced, excluding socially advanced members of OBCs from the benefit. This judgment remains a cornerstone in Indian constitutional law and continues to guide affirmative action policies even today. The Indira Sawhney case demonstrated the Supreme Court's balancing act between equality and social justice. It highlighted that India as democracy is not only about equal opportunity in theory, but also about leveling the playing field in practice. The protests, debates, and eventual verdicts symbolized a turning point where the Constitution evolved to meet the challenges of a diverse society. If you found this case breakdown useful, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss another important case law explanation. Share this with your fellow law students, because together we learn better.